It started with a hum. Not the kind you hear, the kind that crawls behind your skull and tickles your thoughts until they start to giggle on their own. Joker opened his eyes to blackness so thick it looked alive. A pulse of violet light slid through it, slow and viscous, like blood under glass. He tried to breathe. Air didn't matter here. Nothing did. Yet he laughed, a single dry exhale that cracked through the void like a match struck in a coffin. "Aha. Oh, Batsy, you pushed me too far this time." His voice sounded wrong, like it came from multiple mouths, all slightly out of sync. The echo wasn't just echo. It was other laughter, faint, layered beneath his own. He reached for his face, half expecting the paint to smear, but his hands sank through something soft, the skin of reality itself rippling under his touch. He felt it then, the fissure humming below Arkham's bones. The Laughing Singularity. Bruce had warned him once, years ago, when they still played cat and bat under the asylum's fluorescent stars. There's something under Arkham, Joker. A frequency. You don't hear it, you feel it. And he'd laughed, of course. Oh, bats, there's something under everything. It's called the punchline. Now he understood. He drifted. No ground. No up or down. Just endless movement through something thicker than space. Time moved like old film, skipping, stuttering, burning away the frames between seconds. Shapes swam in the dark. Long-limbed silhouettes, limbs bending backward, faces blurred into painted grins. "Welcome," a voice said. Joker's smile widened. "You must be the welcoming committee." "Not quite," said another. "We're the writers of the joke." The laughter behind the words wasn't human. It was vast, rolling through dimensions like thunder through liquid glass. Joker squinted, though eyes meant nothing here, and saw them, titans of smoke and color, painted in ultraviolet and decay. Their faces were masks of infinity, mouths stretching into spirals. Laughter oozed from them, thick as oil. He tilted his head. "You boys ever play Arkham on open mic night?" The nearest one leaned close, its mouth opening into a chasm of galaxies. "We are the Elder Jesters, the architects of irony, the entropy between punchlines." Something in him fluttered. Elder Jesters. It fit. It sang. His grin widened until it hurt. He wasn't scared. Not exactly. Just delighted. "I always suspected," he whispered, "that the universe had a sense of humor." "Laughter," said the voice, "is the final vibration before collapse. Every dying star tells a joke as it fades. You've heard them, haven't you?" He had. In the screams of dying cities, in the static between police scanners, in the fading heartbeat of Gotham. Every tragedy, every absurdity, it all carried the same rhythm. A cosmic chuckle. "Why me?" he asked. "Why me of all the broken toys?" 1,000 grins shimmered in the void. "Because you laughed first." And then they touched him, not with hands, but with understanding, pouring through his thoughts like ink through water. Images erupted behind his eyelids, planets with painted faces, constellations shaped like wide-mouthed smiles, galaxies twisting into spirals of laughter. He saw civilizations crumble under the weight of their own punchlines. He began to laugh with them, quietly at first, then louder, until the void quivered with it. Each laugh cracked something open, a sound so powerful it bent light. He felt himself dissolve, molecules peeling apart, memories flickering like a dying bulb. His first kill, Harley's face under neon rain, Batman's fist shattering his jaw. All of it melted into color, into rhythm, into the joke. He woke again. Different place, different smell, burning ozone and antiseptic. He was lying on cold metal, wires snaking into his chest. Machines hummed. A soft voice whispered somewhere nearby. Subject still stable. Neural patterns unreadable. Radiation spiking. A flash of light. A lab. White walls smeared with green residue. People in suits and helmets moved around him, faces distorted behind fogged visors. One leaned close with a camera. Specimen 01. Human male, found near the Arkham ruins. Body temperature inconsistent with life signs. Joker blinked. Specimen? That's rude. The researcher jumped back, gasping. Jesus. It's awake. He sat up, wires tearing free, leaving little halos of violet sparks. His reflection shimmered in a glass wall, his skin glowing faintly purple, veins tracing fractal shapes like circuitry under his flesh. "Where's Bruce?" he asked. No one answered, just the stutter of alarms, the hum of machines rising in pitch. "Tell me, Doc, does this place have a funny bone?" The lights flickered. Laughter, his laughter, filled the room, bouncing off the sterile walls like gunshots. It grew louder, multiplied, twisted into layers until it became a harmonic roar that shattered the glass around him. The researchers clutched their ears. Blood streamed from their noses. He stood in the storm of laughter, head tilted, arms spread wide like a conductor before his cosmic orchestra. Outside, the facility's sky cracked. A rift opened, thin as a smile, stretching horizon to horizon. The air glowed violet, bending into impossible geometries. He stepped outside, barefoot, the ground rippling under each step like liquid mirror. Somewhere above, satellites screamed. Radio waves carried his laughter into orbit and beyond. It reached deep space probes, bouncing through the void until it brushed against something waiting. Something that laughed back. He froze mid-step, eyes wide. "You heard me." The voice came not as sound, but as vibration through the bones of the world. "We always do." He felt Gotham's ashes calling, the ruins far behind him. He saw them, now, from high above, streets curving into grins, collapsed buildings forming eye sockets. A skull-shaped crater smiling at the stars. He could taste it, the entropy. Every laugh, every scream feeding something older. He whispered, "It's beautiful." His reflection in a puddle grinned wider than his face should allow. "Of course it is. You're part of the joke now." He crouched beside the water, staring at himself. His eyes flickered, one green, one violet. Behind the reflection, faint shapes swam. The elder jesters, watching, smiling through the surface tension. "You're still here," he said. "You can't let go of me, can you? We are you. You are the punchline incarnate." He laughed softly. Bats never saw it coming. He thought he'd won. Victory is just another setup. He stared up at the night sky. The stars pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat, every flash like a strobe in a cosmic carnival. He felt something inside him tuning, aligning with a greater pattern. Reality began to shimmer. Buildings leaned in closer. Light warped, bending toward him. The world wanted to listen. "Knock, knock," he whispered. Wind howled across the ruins. He smiled. "Who's there?" A voice echoed from the stars, his own, overlapping 1,000-fold. "Everyone." He started walking. Each step left behind footprints that glowed faintly. Not light, but laughter itself crystallized, vibrating in the air. He felt giddy, electric, alive in ways no human should. The air around him tasted like static and sugar. Somewhere, in the ruins of Metropolis, alarms blared. The sky shimmered with auroras of green and purple, spiraling like ribbons through the clouds. Entire districts blinked out of existence, replaced by flickering carnival lights orbiting nothing. Voices crackled through broken radios. Containment breached. The subject. It's laughing through the signal. He chuckled. "Oh, I'm just warming up." He tilted his head, hearing the whisper again, the cosmic rhythm thrumming through his veins. With each laugh, a star dies. The phrase repeated itself in his mind, looping, syncing with his pulse. He could feel it, somewhere light years away. A distant sun flickered out like a candle, snuffed by the vibration of his mirth. "Oh, now that's a punchline." He reached the edge of the crater. In the distance, Arkham's ruins smoldered, skeletal, jagged. Beneath it, the rift still pulsed, a purple heartbeat inside the earth. He could hear Bruce's voice faintly, like a memory burned onto an old tape. "The world can't survive another joke from you." He smiled into the wind. That's the idea, bats. He stepped closer. The fissure yawned open, wider now, laughing with him, a mouth of stars, swallowing sound. His reflection in the void grinned back, wider, larger, cosmic. Galaxies glinted in its teeth. He whispered to it, softly, "Show me the next act." The universe answered with laughter. And as Joker leaned into the light, the ground split beneath him, Arkham collapsing inward, folding like paper, and the city above began to smile. It started as a whisper in static. Then the whisper learned how to laugh. Joker sat in front of a broken transmitter, a relic of the old world. The Arkham ruins were long gone now, swallowed by the violet fissure beneath the earth. What remained was an island of glowing rubble suspended in endless black, a fragment of reality that hadn't yet decided whether it wanted to exist or not. The transmitter crackled. Voices murmured through the static, scientists, soldiers, broken fragments of the world still trying to talk to each other. Containment breach confirmed. Subject Gamma. 01's laughter waveform spreading across the spectrum. We can hear him. He leaned closer to the microphone, the grin never leaving his face. "Oh, you can hear me, can you? Let's make it stereo." He twisted the knobs until the frequency bled violet light, until the sound itself looked visible. The laughter that poured from his throat wasn't a sound anymore. It was a frequency of collapse. It bent air. It distorted thought. The transmitter screamed. Joker pressed the mic button, voice dripping with mock sincerity. "Good evening, ladies and germs. This is your favorite dead man broadcasting live from between realities. Today's topic, cosmic humor and its effect on fragile little minds. Stay tuned. Or don't. I don't care." He released the button and chuckled, the sound reverberating outward like ripples through a black ocean. Somewhere in orbit, a satellite caught the signal, and something inside it laughed back. He could see it all, now, the connection webbing through space like veins of light. His laughter wasn't just traveling through radio anymore. It was tunneling through dimensions. Every frequency that touched it became infected. Every echo became a mouth. He could hear astronauts screaming inside their suits as the voices came through their comms. He could hear radios tuning themselves on abandoned highways, whispering jokes to the dead. He could feel entire networks smiling. "Knock, knock," he murmured. The static giggled. "Who's there?" "Entropy." He grinned. "Entropy who?" The static screamed, and somewhere a star imploded. He wandered through the ruins, the fractured city bending and reshaping around him like molten glass. Buildings breathed. Street lamps blinked like eyes. He whispered to them as he passed. "You get it, don't you? The joke's not on the world. The joke is the world." The air shimmered. Laughter trickled from the shadows, faint, like children giggling under the floorboards. He tilted his head, listening. That's it. Everyone's in on it now. He could feel the elder jesters watching through the fissures between moments, great shadowed silhouettes bending behind the thin curtain of space. Their presence pressed against his skull like fingers on glass. Every thought he had felt echoed back 1,000-fold, warped and magnified. "You proud of me?" he asked them. "Yes," came the whisper, like static in his veins. "You are the broadcast. You are the relay between laughter and death." He laughed softly, almost tenderly. "And here I thought I was just an entertainer." Far above, on the edges of orbit, Bruce Wayne floated in what was left of the watchtower. The earth below was no longer blue. It pulsed green and violet, the continents warped into curving smiles, oceans coiling into spirals like laughter lines around a dying face. Joker could feel him. Their bond hadn't broken, not really. It stretched through space like a rubber band of hate and dependency, vibrating between their souls. "Still listening, old man?" Joker murmured to the void. "I hope so. Wouldn't want to bomb without my best audience." Through the distortion, he heard it. A faint voice, recorded through a dying transmitter, drifting through frequencies like a ghost. "Joker, if you can hear this, stop. Please. Whatever you've become, it's killing everything. He smiled. Oh, Batsy, you still don't get it. I'm not killing everything. I'm just letting it in on the punchline. He turned the dials again. The transmitter's lights burned green, flaring like tiny suns. His laughter wove itself through the network, not as noise, but as code. A pattern of vibrations that slipped into digital veins, rewriting everything it touched. Surveillance drones began to twitch midair, lenses distorting into wide eyes. The satellites formed new constellations, smile-shaped arrays blinking in rhythm to his laughter. Even time itself seemed to bend, looping seconds back on themselves so that he could watch the same moment of horror again and again. Rewind that. Perfect take. He saw through the network now, through every camera, every reflection, every signal. He saw cities vanishing under curtains of violet mist. Where they went, he didn't know, but he could hear them laughing as they fell. He stopped suddenly. Something shifted in the rhythm. The laughter, it wasn't his anymore. It was growing louder, deeper, overlapping his own. The elder jesters were laughing with him now, or maybe through him. His grin faltered. For the first time since he'd fallen through the singularity, he felt something close to unease. A vibration too big, too ancient. His laughter had opened the door, but he hadn't realized they were already halfway through it. Wait, who's leading the act here? The sky tore open above him, a long, thin wound spilling ultraviolet fire. Shapes moved behind it, silhouettes with spinning eyes and jaws that folded sideways. Their laughter rolled down like thunder, flattening the ruins. Ah, he whispered. The headliners have arrived. The fissure widened, swallowing half the horizon. The broadcast towers melted into liquid metal, their signals fusing into one long scream. The world's electromagnetic field rippled, bending reality like soft clay. His mind flooded with images, endless carnivals orbiting stars, planets painted with smiling faces, laughter replacing gravity itself. He heard Bruce again, faint but steady. He's changing the structure of space-time with laughter. God help us. He smirked. No gods left, Bruce. Just clowns. The ground cracked beneath him, revealing a bottomless drop. At its center, a shape began to rise. Immense, formless, flickering between colors that didn't exist. The elder jesters. The real ones. No longer shadows. No longer distant. You've done well. The voices chorused. Now spread us further. Joker tilted his head. Further? I thought this was the encore. This is the opening act. He laughed, but it came out nervous, broken. Oh, well, that's ambitious. Become our mouthpiece. Become the universe's final joke. He felt them reach into him again, like hands made of gravity. The sensation was unbearable, like his skull was a stage and the universe was rearranging the scenery inside it. His bones glowed, veins filling with ultraviolet light. His laughter turned digital, breaking into perfect mathematical intervals. He could see every atom of himself sinking to a frequency, the frequency of entropy. He wasn't a man anymore. He wasn't even a voice. He was a signal, and the signal wanted to spread. He tried to resist, not out of morality, but vanity. You don't get it, he hissed, shaking as the world trembled around him. I'm the star. The joke's mine. You're just the laugh track. The elder jesters' voices overlapped, deafening. Then tell your joke, Harbinger. Show us the ending. He clenched his teeth, violet light bleeding from the cracks in his skin. His mind fractured into billions of reflections, each one showing him another version of himself, each laughing differently. The air pulsed. The broadcast towers around him reignited, beams of light piercing the void. He grabbed the microphone one last time. Ladies and gentlemen, the universe walks into a bar. The laughter behind him swelled, a cosmic tide. And he smiled, bleeding light. It never walks out. The signal detonated. Every satellite, every frequency, every brain tuned even slightly to static, all of them heard him. The laughter went omnidirectional, skipping across dimensions. It echoed inside black holes. It whispered in the background radiation of the cosmos. It fused itself to the heartbeat of existence. Entire worlds began to grin. Continents reshaped, tectonic plates bending into smiles so vast they could be seen from orbit. Stars pulsed in unison with his laughter. Nebulae twisted into carnival colors, green, violet, and white. The universe itself was laughing now. Inside the chaos, Joker's body flickered, phasing in and out of form. He looked down at his hands. They were dissolving into static, the molecules vibrating with the same frequency as the void. He whispered, "I guess this is what enlightenment feels like." "Not enlightenment," the elder jesters replied. "Assimilation." He tilted his head, smile trembling. "Tomato, tomato." His laughter dissolved into the hum, no longer his own, but part of something vaster. And as his body faded completely, only his voice remained, echoing endlessly across the cosmos. "Remember, kids, comedy is just tragedy with better timing." For a while, while still meant anything, there was nothing. Then the nothing started to breathe. Joker floated in the void, not as flesh, not even as thought, but as vibration. A pulse inside a dying frequency. Every beat of what used to be his heart sent waves through the dark, and the dark laughed back. He wasn't sure if he was alive anymore. Didn't matter. Living and dying were just punchlines to the same setup. He opened his eyes, or whatever replaced them now, and saw the universe through new sight. Stars like glittering teeth, nebulae curling into grin-shaped spirals, black holes yawning wide like mouths mid-laughter. Every light, every shadow, synchronized with him. He whispered, "Hello, beautiful audience." The void replied in his own voice, multiplied by infinity. "Welcome to the grand finale." He chuckled, the sound rippling through constellations. "Funny, I always thought eternity would have more clowns." "Oh, it does," the voice said. "You just haven't looked close enough." He turned and saw them. The elder jesters, now fully revealed. Colossal beings of geometric chaos, their faces painted in colors beyond sight, their laughter folding space-time like fabric in a cosmic wind. They weren't gods. They were concepts given form, the living absurdity that fueled reality's collapse. They bowed, mockingly, theatrically. "Our favorite performer returns." "Encore, huh?" Joker smirked. "You people really don't believe in endings." "There are no endings," they hummed. Only laughter echoing through decay. He could feel Earth, or what was left of it, pulsing faintly beneath the web of cosmic noise. The once blue marble had gone black and green. Continents warped into grotesque smiles visible from orbit. He could sense Bruce there, still alive somehow, clinging to machinery in the ruins of the watchtower. A memory flashed, the bat's fist shattering his teeth, the rain mixing with blood, the way Bruce's voice broke when he said enough. He'd never forget that sound. Not even now. He murmured, "You're still hanging on, aren't you, old friend?" Somewhere in the hum of radiation, a voice crackled, faint, distorted, but unmistakable. "Joker, if this is the end, at least let it mean something." He laughed softly. "It does, Batsy. It means we finally get to share the same view." The watchtower orbited a corpse, a planet that smiled. Inside it, Bruce sat tethered to an ancient console, oxygen feeding through tubes, his body barely more than a memory wrapped in metal. The screens around him flickered with static, every channel whispering laughter. He typed through trembling hands, broadcasting one final signal into the void. Joker could hear it before it even reached him. "If anyone finds this transmission, know that it's already too late." He's become something else. The laughter isn't sound anymore. It's structure. He's rewritten physics into a joke. Bruce paused, breath rattling. He found the punchline. "Alfred, and it's the universe itself." The words hit Joker like an echo of warmth. The last joke shared between two men who had nothing left but their endless dance. He almost felt something like affection, Or maybe nostalgia. Hard to tell the difference now. The elder jesters drifted closer. Do you see, Harbinger? The cosmos has joined the act. All creation laughs with you. Joker smiled faintly. And what's next? Do we take the show on the road? There are other universes, they replied. Other audiences waiting to hear the joke. He twitched, eyes flickering with ultraviolet sparks. Oh, multiversal tour, huh? You're ambitious. I like it. Then open the door. He hesitated, the faintest flicker of resistance. He wasn't sure if it was pride or terror. He'd always been the one telling the joke. But now, he wasn't sure who was laughing anymore. What if, he said slowly, the joke's on me? The laughter from the jesters deepened, shaking the void. All jesters serve the joke. You only carried the spark. He frowned. Spark? I lit the damn fire. They said nothing. They didn't need to. The truth radiated through the silence. He had never been in control. He'd been the delivery system, the setup to something ancient. His madness had simply made him compatible. He started to laugh again, but it cracked, dry, hollow. So that's it. I'm just your little clown courier. You are more, they whispered. You are the first human to understand that laughter and annihilation are the same art form. He floated in silence for a long moment. Then he smiled, slow, resigned, almost gentle. Well, it's about time someone appreciated my work. He turned his gaze toward the remains of Earth. The green glow intensified. The crust fractured into rings of molten laughter. Entire mountains bent into the shape of curved teeth. The oceans drained into the cracks, hissing like applause. He whispered into the void, "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching." The jester's forms loomed above him, vast enough to swallow galaxies. "End it, Harbinger." He grinned. "Always knew I'd bring the house down." He reached out, and space obeyed. The very fabric of reality folded inward, curling like film burning in a projector. Stars blinked out one by one, each extinguished with a sound that wasn't quite laughter, but close enough. He felt Bruce's presence again, faint and distant, a heartbeat under collapsing silence. "Don't do it." Joker smiled softly. "Oh, bats, it's already done." The collapse began. It wasn't violent. It was graceful, like the universe itself was bowing out of a long performance. Light folded into dark. Dark folded into color. Everything folded into a grin. Joker felt himself stretch across creation, his consciousness diffusing into the background radiation, merging with the laughter of dead stars. He could see everything at once. Alien worlds cracking under cosmic mirth, galaxies spinning like carnival wheels, civilizations dissolving into applause. "Encore!" he shouted, and the cosmos echoed it back in endless layers. He was gone and not gone, dead and not dead, a god made of punchlines. And yet, a fragment of himself, the smallest splinter of what once was human, still lingered. He stood again, or dreamed himself standing. The void around him was quiet now, filled only with drifting light. The elder jesters had faded, leaving only the echo of their laughter, stretching infinitely outward. He felt alone. He looked down and saw his reflection rippling in the surface of nothing. His old face, pale and cracked, eyes ringed in black. The paint was smeared. He looked tired. He whispered, "I told them all, didn't I? I told them the world was one big joke." The reflection smiled. "You were right." He nodded slowly. But no one laughed. "Oh, they did," said the reflection, its grin widening, splitting ear to ear. "You just couldn't hear it yet." The laughter started again, faint at first, then swelling until it filled everything, shaking even what remained of his mind. He screamed, but it came out as laughter. He fell, but there was nowhere to fall. The void bent inward, and from its center, a new light began to bloom, green, white, and purple. Far above the ruin of time, the last star flickered. In its fading glow, something smiled. A colossal face, vast as a galaxy, formed in the nebula, its eyes twin black holes, its mouth stretching across light years. The teeth were spiraling arms of galaxies, rotating in rhythm to a sound that could shatter the mind. The universe itself had taken on the Joker's grin. From somewhere inside that endless laughter, his voice murmured softly, almost intimate. "See, Batsy, it was never madness. It was the truth. The universe is funny. It just took me to make it laugh." And deep within the dying watchtower, Bruce's life support alarms finally went silent. The old man smiled faintly, watching through the viewport as the stars around him curved into a vast, laughing mouth. His voice, weak and cracked, whispered into the recorder one last time. He found the punchline. Then, somewhere between seconds, everything stopped. No sound, no time, just the aftertaste of laughter lingering in eternity. But something remained, a frequency humming in the dark, a vibration that refused to die. It spread across the void, faint but unrelenting, carrying the echo of one man's madness, one God's joke. Laughter. It rippled through the fabric of reality, infecting the silence of new universes being born. In every newborn star's pulse, there was a flicker of amusement. In every atom's vibration, a hint of giggle. The joke never ended. It just changed audiences. In the distance, beyond all creation, a new cosmos unfolded, bright, raw, and unaware. And as its first suns ignited, a faint sound rolled through its empty skies. A laugh, soft, patient, waiting for the next act. And somewhere inside that laughter, a whisper, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be here all eat." Reniti, I wonder where you are watching from tonight. Comment your state, your city, maybe your dimension below. And if you heard laughter in the background, don't worry. It's probably just interference. Hit subscribe, like, and share before the signal fades. Stay safe out there. And if you ever hear the stars start to laugh, turn off your screen, because sometimes the broadcast laughs back.